Okay, so I think I am going to start for the benefit of all those who are punctual. Yeah. And as I already said, the recording will be available almost immediately after the event. First of all, I want to say a very warm welcome to all the parents, as well as if there are students on this meeting today, then a very warm welcome to all of you. And also congratulations to you, because in a way, you are one of those set of parents who have been aware, yeah, who have been proactive, and you've taken this step of wanting to understand what to do for the future of your child, yeah, at a very right time. You know, when this child has already gone to 10th grade, or rather your children are in 10th grade, but some of you, most of the children from what I know from the registrations are right now in the 10th grade. There are a few from grade 9, but 90% of the chunk is grade 10. When you've already given grade 10, yeah, and you're in grade 11, for example, then you start making your researches, or then you start deciding, I would say that is really a little late. Yeah. So the timing that you have chosen is perfect, parents. So I must say kudos to you for that. The reason is, see, now you have an entire year, yeah, to start thinking, to start looking for different options, to start deciding for those who are undecided or which branch you want to take. And for those who have decided, then you have enough time to choose what class, what strategy ahead. Yeah. So in that sense, you have been very proactive. That's already the first step to success. I'm going to, I will be speaking about the general idea of the engineering and NEET exams and what entails in 11th and 12th and the boards that you need to choose. How will you choose the classes? So I will give you a fair idea of all that based on our personal experience, because my son is, in fact, from next week onwards, the joint entrance exams for engineering will begin. Yeah, so he is in 12th grade now. He's just got his HSC results and done very well. So I will give you my personal experience, as well as it will be a pool of experiences of the other mothers who were with me in the last 2 years journey. Okay, what you can do is, I have put all of you on mute because it will be a big chaos if 50 or 100 of us start talking. But please put your questions in the chat box. I'll try to keep 10 minutes at the end to answer some of your queries. And if there are queries which are very good or interesting, then we'll probably even answer back by email. Okay? Don't worry, at the end of it, I'll also tell you other ways of getting in touch with us if you need any further guidance. Okay? Now, the first thing that I would like to address before I go into choosing classes and talking about what goes on in 11th and 12th, I've seen in the registrations what we have seen, my husband and I, because we are both very active with all this kind of work. What we saw is that there are about 30 to 40% of the parents in this group who are not 30 to 40, about 20% who are undecided. Yeah, whether the child wants to take medicine, or meaning the bio path, or whether the child wants to take the engineering or the math part, right? We had about 60 to 70 parents who are very clear that the child wants to go for PCM or engineering. But we still have about 30 parents who are not decided, and a few 8 to 10 who definitely want to go for the NEET or the medical side. I'm going to try and give you an idea about all three. But for those who have not decided between the bio and the math side, for their benefit, I do want to run a few slides so that I help you explain or I help you understand how to decide. Yeah. Let's share screen so that we can do this. Okay, so we can go past this one. My first thing would be, don't pressurize your child in this decision, participate. Okay. Our own son, we are both medical doctors. We have a flourishing practice. His aptitude in biology is great. Like his biology marks, bio marks are always 100 on 100, right? His math or physics may have a 97. Chemistry is also always 100. Math and physics may have 97, 98. Yeah. But his bio, he doesn't have to even blink or wink, and he gets 100. Yet we have chosen engineering. Okay. And the reason is, when we sat with him through his 9th and 10th, in fact, he himself came up with this idea that he wants to go into research. That was his first thing. And by the mid of 10th grade, he was very, very clear that he wants to take up engineering. Okay. I would say even the beginning of 10th, he was almost sure, because he loves physics and math. Yeah. And the aptitude tests also showed biology. The school does an aptitude test to tell you which branch to choose and things like that. But, and that also showed more the biology side. But he was very clear. So we chose, or we allowed him, or we helped him choose what he wanted. So my first point to all parents would be, please do not pressurize, participate in your child's decision. But you have to participate. You also cannot leave it only to them, because they're just 16. So you have to give them all the options, which is what I did with my son. Yeah. Both my husband and I, we would sit with him, talk it out, especially during meal times, or, anytime we went swimming or something and we started a discussion on what he wanted in future. We would give him various options of how medicine would be, how it would be to get into corporate world, how it would be to get into research. We gave him examples from the family. And with the help of all of this, we let him decide. Okay, so you can do this in this 10th grade for those parents who are still undecided. But there are certain criteria that you can use to make the decision better. I'm going to go to those. I would like to say one thing, please decide by the end of the year. Before you go into the 10th grade exam and, then you start looking for your 11th grade classes, before that you have to be decided, because the 11th and 12th is not like 10th grade. You have to study a lot. Competitive exams are very, I would say, trying and challenging, and you are running the race against time. So you have to win smartly. And therefore, the earlier you make your decision, the better you can plan your strategy ahead. Now, how will you decide? So that's what I'm going to help some parents with right now. For those who already know, also this will be a good recap kind of a thing. Just remember that the bio side, has mainly one major all India level exam. I'm talking of the major ones, okay? Maybe in some future webinars, I'll go into details. But right now, just a major thing is you have the NEET exam for the bio children, okay? This helps you get into the medical and various paramedical and also research fields from on an all India level. Then you have for the engineering kids, These are the exams that you have. The JEE mains. Yeah, this is the joint entrance exam, which gives you entry into all the good engineering colleges all across India. You also have the exam BITSAT, which gives you the entry into BITS and the various BITS institute like Pilani, Hyderabad, Goa, Singapore. So it gets you into the private BITS engineering, which is also a very, very, I would say, esteemed set of institutes. Then comes an exam called JEE Advanced, which gets you into IIT. I have broken it from JEE mains because this is a different league. Okay. There are some parents who also registered from out of Maharashtra, but for those, most of the parents are from Mumbai, yeah, and Maharashtra. So the MHT CET, this is the exam which will take you into all the Maharashtra engineering colleges. There is also an MHT CET for bio, which will get you into the pharmaceutical colleges of Maharashtra. Just a basic idea, because every time parents from now on, you will be bombarded with all the classes and all the teachers with these words. NEET, JEE, BITSAT, MHT CET, Triple IT, all this kind of names, okay? So just to give you an idea, every time I say NEET, I mean the bio branch. And every time I say BITSAT, JEE mains, JEE advanced, I'm talking about the engineering branch or the math branch. I haven't taken into this architecture because it's a slightly different one that goes with NATA and other exams, but architecture is also physics, chemistry, and math. Right now, I'm talking of two very major exams, and most of the parents who've registered have registered for these exams, and to know more about that from me today. Okay, so this was to explain to you the bio and math. How do you decide for those whose children are good with both subjects? Yeah, like our child, he was good with both, better with bio, but then we had to choose math. The first point that I have written there, you can see, is interest of your child. This is the first and foremost point. You cannot forget it, because he or she has to go through that 11th and 12th rigorous study, and then also the next 5 years. So the first point would be interest of the child. Now you say maybe the interest is the same or the aptitude is the same. Then the next point is the examination. Let's see how tough the exams are. Maybe for some parents, it makes it easier to decide which exam is tougher, okay? And therefore, which one to choose. So let me tell you that the NEET exam, which I showed you for bio, if you remember, and then I showed you the JEE mains exam. Yeah, these two are at the same level. So if you want to do well in either bio or in math, so in either medical or engineering, then the examination level is the same. Okay. JEE Advanced, I haven't put in here for decision making, because JEE Advanced is a league above JEE mains that is getting into IIT. But if you're undecided, you very likely may not want to take up an exam as tough as JEE Advanced. Okay. But if you look at major engineering colleges, then the medical and the NEET, the examination level is the same. That is why I have put it like that. Now, the other advantage is that the Maharashtra state level exams for engineering are even easier. Okay. So if you're looking at that point of view, then the engineering gets a little easier. Okay. Now, as a parent, also as somebody who's gone through the medical course, and as somebody who is seeing the child study 11th and 12th, I would say becoming an engineer or that branch is easier than becoming a doctor. Definitely. Medical studies beyond 12th grade are far more demanding, far more time consuming, far more exhausting than engineering studies. JEE Advanced may be a more tougher exam, I agree. But beyond the 4 years, engineering, beyond the 2 years of 11th and 12th, your engineering is a much easier bet when it comes to study. I'm only talking of the practical aspect, not the interest. Okay. Another important thing, remember guys, the JEE mains can also be given as a second attempt the next year. So say for all the children who are appearing for JEE mains in advance this year, like my son, 2022, they also have a chance of appearing next year. And I guess I'm not very sure, but because for 2020, they have made it, the 2020 kids can appear and the 2021 kids can appear and 2022. So the 2020 kids, remember, are still appearing for the same exams that my son in 2022 is appearing. So they have 2 more chances in engineering. Are you getting me? Now, you may think right now that why would I waste 1 year? But if you look at 1 year in comparison to the next 50 years of your child's life, then it's nothing, right? So you're getting a double chance. And I know within our family, kids who have not done so well in the first engineering joint entrance exam, JEE mains and JEE advanced mainly, who then did very well in the second attempt the next year of JEE advanced, and they are very well, they've completed their graduation and they're doing very well in life right now. So you have that added advantage with the JEE, with the engineering exam. Okay. Also remember one thing, that the engineering colleges across the country, in the private sector, in the government sector, they are many. Yeah. So you have a plethora of engineering colleges in the country if you're looking at what is easy to choose between bio and math. In the distant future, so this was immediate future that I explained, as in the exam difficulty, the amount of hours you have to put in, etc., etc. In the distant future, when you look at settling in life, then the engineering has an easier scope and a quicker and a more broader scope than the medical side. However, if your child is somebody who likes to do his own thing, of course, he can always do a startup later. Yeah, startup is the new fad now. But believe me, being a doctor is a great boon. If you like to be independent, not with people, you like to do your own thing, then your child should definitely take up medicine, because it's, you have your freedom, you have your patience, you have your practice, and you're still your own boss from the beginning to the end. Okay. So these are just some points that I thought would probably help those undecided parents which way to go, the bio way or the engineering or the math way. Let's go to the next point. Now I'm going to see, these are the 3 major groups. Okay. There is some. Okay, there is also this whole thing about boards and foundation course and things like that. So I'm going to answer that very soon. Just give me some time. Yeah. First, just look at these 3 major exam groups. Okay. For the bio, I already told you, you have majorly the NEET exam and the MHT CT for pharmacy in Maharashtra. For math, you have mainly the JEE mains and advanced. That's why I've put in JEE. You have the BITSAT, you have MHT CT, and then you also have a lot of private engineering exams, the Vellore Technical Institute, then IIT Hyderabad, then you also have the Manipal colleges, and there are many more. Okay. So in the math, but the main ones that gets you into very good institutes, I'm looking at good institutes, right? Then you have JEE mains and advanced, BITSAT and MHTCET. Okay, this is the one. And then is one more, which is those kids who want to go into pure sciences, who want to go into research. Then the two exams that those kids give, the syllabus is the same, okay? But the exam that they give is KVPY, and that gets them into the IISER Institute of Bangalore, as well as the IISER institutes, yeah? These are the two institutes for, not two types, yeah, the IISc, and then there are about 5 IISERs in the country. So these will take you into pure sciences or research. This is just the 3 major branches. See, even for architecture, I think there was somebody. Today, I will not be going into that. I'll probably bring in someone else who is in the next few sessions. I'll bring in experts whose children have gone into those exams. But you can stay with me if you want to know how to choose a class or things like that. Yeah, but I will not be talking about. These are the main things I will be talking about today. Okay. Now, these 3 are your major branches and you can decide. Now, remember one thing, the syllabus, yeah, of course, for NEET, there is a major chunk which is different, which is biology. But the physics and chemistry, are you with me, is same for all of them. And then there is math in the JEE and the BITSAT and everything. And in the pure sciences, there is either bio or math or even both. But the syllabus is generally the same. The exam toughness levels, I already told you initially, but I'll go back to that at some point when I have to tell you how many hours of study the child needs to put in. Right now, remember these 3 branches, okay? I think that it will help. So there are some parents who, sorry, okay, we go next. Now, this is very important, how to choose a class. I told you the 3 branches, right? Most classes you will see will offer both, especially the big names in the industry, in the education industry, will offer you both. They have NEET as well. They have JEE, mains, advanced, BITSAT, all of this, and they have KVPY as well. So most classes will offer you all of this because the syllabus is all the same, 11th and 12th. Okay. How do you as a parent choose which class to take? Now, this is the most important bit of my talk today, because this is the most important bit for you as a parent. If this doesn't go well, mind you, the next 2 years can go in a, they can take a completely different direction. If it goes very well, your child's potential can blossom. Your child will reach to his or her full potential. But if you don't choose the right class, and if this doesn't go well, there is a likely chance that your child may actually give up. Your child may not reach his full potential. Yeah. So please remember, this is the most important thing. Do not just stick with whatever is in your locality, whatever you see in the newspapers, yeah, or any kind of advertisements. Please do not stick with that. We all know that the ad industry, yeah, thrives on, I wouldn't say on fools, but it thrives on fooling us. Okay, so you see a lot of, numbers on the newspapers. You see all these toppers. After every result, you will see a big ad in every newspaper. Yeah, 10% result, toppers, this, that. Please do not go with just that, because toppers make only 1% of that entire population of our children. And our child may not be in the toppers list. But is the class that we choose going to help my child to reach his potential. Maybe it won't make my child IIT, AIR 1, AIR 2, AIR 10. But will it at least bring the right potential where my child gets in AIR 1500 or 2000 and gets into a good IIT? Yeah. Or will it give me a good JEE mains AIR score? He or she gets into a good NIT, or gets a good NEET score so that she or he gets into a good medical college. Don't go with the numbers and the scores they show on the newspapers. You have 1 year. Even those parents, there are some parents who I've already done some foundation courses with different big names. Even for those parents, foundation course has nothing to do with the class you choose for 11th and 12th. I am a mother, and I'm a mother of a child who's done a foundation course and is giving his 12th now. Ask me. There's no connection. Yeah. So these points right now that I'm saying are more important. First thing, go for a group orientation. If there are classes which are giving you a group orientation, or maybe if you have friends in your school or in your tuition classes, mothers, fathers, make a group of 5, 4, 20. This is what I did and my husband, we did when our son was in 10th. We were in Jamnabai school and we created a group, we moms created a group of 30 mothers. And I took those mothers everywhere to all the different classes and we did a group orientation. The entire 10th, we mothers spent in this kind of research. A group orientation is important because it helps you to understand some other parent's perspective. You may not have that doubt and the other parent may have that doubt. So I would say a group orientation really helps. Second, just don't say yes after the group orientation. Now you go for a personal chat with the classes. And when you go for a personal chat, ask to talk to the teachers and not to the, the staff or the administrative staff. No, it doesn't work like that. They have been taught some things and they will explain you some things which is not going to work that way in 11th and 12th. Yeah. So ask to talk to some of the teachers. Maybe you may not get the senior most teacher, but at least if you get one experienced teacher of the class, then that teacher knows better how to explain you and how to, take care of your doubts and your requirements. So go for that interview and ask for a teacher. Third, very important thing that I have written in caps, not caps, but it's a larger font. Ask for a senior parent review. What is that? Whatever class it is, tell them, can you give me 2 to 3 numbers of your earlier students and their parents? Students are not going to talk. Okay, students are already on to the next league. They don't have the time. If I ask my son, there are so many people who come and say, can we ask your son this? Can we ask? My son has no time for anybody. I am busier than him in my practice, but he is the boss. He is busier than both my husband and me. He has no time for anybody. But go talk to the parents. Ask them, did they like that class? Did that class do enough justice to their child's strength? See, every child is different. A topper has a different gifted IQ. Yeah, maybe your child may be with that gifted IQ, maybe not. But did the class that you are looking at, did they do enough justice to that parent's child? Please pay attention to what the review that the parent gives. Take 2 or 3 parents' reviews. Very important. Also, when you are talking to the classes, yeah, maybe we can stop sharing for a bit. Oh, yeah. When you're talking to the classes, ask them about their total strength and their total percentage. So ask them about all the students. कि भाई आपके 3000 students हैं. Out of 3000, don't give me these 5 toppers, because I'm not sure if my kid is going to be in these 5. What happened to all those 2995 kids out of the 3000? उनका क्या हुआ? Did they get into a decent medical college or pharmaceutical college or paramedical course? Did they get into a good engineering college or any good IIIT or NIT? Yeah. So I want to know not just these 5 toppers. Do you know that toppers can be bought? Yeah. If you sometimes you are confused, look at the newspapers. When you see the newspaper, you will see that the same kid has topped from 5 different classes. How is it possible? Right? So don't at all go with the toppers. Ask them, tell me what about all the rest of the students in your class? What about the students who are not so good, who are average, or maybe a little above average? Have you been able to put them in the, or have you been able to help them reach to the right spot? Okay, so these should be your questions. I think I had some more important questions. Yeah. You can also ask them specifically. See, when you go to classes, this is the way they are going to tell you. They're going to say that we have a special batch for all your special kids. We'll put your kid. And if you join us 2 years in advance or 1 year in advance, right? Then, or if you give our scholastic tests and blah, 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 we will put your child into the best batch. And, you know, they will show you like a Bollywood movie. They'll show you heaven. But does that really work like that? Maybe your child does not have the aptitude to get into that special batch. They have that batch. But are they going to put all those 3,000 in that batch? No, they are not going to put. So the question I tend to ask, or I asked, was, don't tell me about the toppers, please. I know you will do everything for the toppers. You'll bring a Mercedes for the toppers. I know that. But my child is not a topper. But I'm still paying you your fees. So tell me, how are you going to take care of my child? Yeah. So ask them that if your child is weak, how are they going to help this weak child? Or not weak, you can say that, you know, if he's not going to be that gifted IQ and he's not tried all these Olympiads and all of this, then how is it going to help? How are you going to help the weaknesses of my child? If a child is strong, a child is strong. He's going to shine anyways, whether he goes to this class or that class. Yeah. But if he is not so gifted, how are you going to help this child? Okay. Now, also check how many years the teachers have been with the class. This is also a little important. I know that there are other children with me, like with Swayams, I mean, who were in a class and were very, very attached to one of the very good teachers, and that teacher was super brilliant. I don't disagree. I mean, we were impressed by that teacher. Even I know that teacher personally. But unfortunately, the teacher had to leave. Yeah. So when the teacher left, the students were shattered. You know, when 11th and 12th, remember one thing, the studies of 11th and 12th is like a complete different world as compared to your children's studies in 9th and 10th. My son has been a topper in 10th. Yeah. He was amongst the top 5 of the country with 98.6. But he himself laughs at his 10th standard studies. And he's done that foundation course and everything. And he says, Mama, that's nothing compared to what we do in 11th and 12th. You understand? So when the child has so much of load to study, you need a good teacher, and you need a teacher who is going to stay with your child for 11th and 12th and not hop from one class to the other. So when you go to a class, please look, have the teacher stayed there. Now, one very good idea for that is, you know, in fact, I just a little joke. What I have seen is that the teachers in this education industry change jobs even faster than teachers, than the people in the hospitality industry. Even hospitality industry, they stay longer. Yeah, so you have to be very careful, because see, remember one thing, for all the classes, they can produce results every year. For your child, it is only once. After those 2 years, when he or she has to produce a result, and maybe a second attempt the next time. Yeah. So your child has only that one chance. Classes have a million chances and a million students. So you be very careful when you are making your choice. Okay. Yeah, my point was also look at, one is that what is the credibility of the teachers, how long have the teachers stayed with them, and also if you're looking at small classes, yeah, very often the owners are the teachers. Yeah, when the owners are the teachers, they have a better sense of responsibility. Remember that. Okay, so that is one of the advantage of a smaller class as opposed to a big name. A big name has almost, they can easily say we bring you another teacher as good as the last one. But what do I do if my son was or my daughter was used to that style of teaching and suddenly he'll have to change? So this was about the teaching and the classes. One very important thing, please try and see what is their system of examination. Now remember, unfortunately, I will just say that if you're in India and if you're looking at NEET and JEE mains and BITSAT and all of that, unfortunately, we are a very exam-oriented society. Yeah, and if you've accepted that, you have to go with it, right? So these exams, the children have to have a very good experience and a continuous rigorous examination schedule so that they will do well in the final exams. Are you with me? So a class which has a very good examination pattern, yeah, is often very good for your child. So always when you go to the class, ask them, what is your examination routine? I have some questions. I'm going to look at them in some time. Yeah, some very nice questions. Okay. So this was about exams. Very important that you will look into. Next thing is big classes versus small classes. Yeah, that maybe we can share. See, for those of you who have some very peculiar personal questions, I'm going to share my email ID. I might also probably answer those questions individually. Okay, if I don't get time today in the group, then I'll answer it individually. You can resend those questions to me on an email right away today after the webinar. Okay, now look at this, big names versus small. I will definitely say that the advantage of a big name is they have a better system of examination because they have been there for very long. They are time tested. Remember that. They send timely notes, updates. They help you with filling of various forms and various kind of details, which is needed. I would say that takes away a lot of your stress. So that is the advantage of a big name, that they have all systems in place. They are super professional. They work in a very systematic corporate-like way. However, please check if they pay enough attention to your child. If they are average, very often they do not. Okay. The reason is, see, they have so many. Now, out of this, they only focus. I'm not trying to say negative. Yeah, I'm just trying to give you opinions and a viewpoint. They have to focus on a very cream batch. And that's also not wrong, because there are some students who are working more hard. There are some students who really want to do in their best. So what happens is the focus very often goes on those. Also, very often teachers change, or if there is a class with many branches, the good teachers go hopping from one branch to the other. Okay, so your child is constantly being taught by different teachers. The teachers who take the doubts are different than the teachers who teach. Now, this is okay for some children. This is okay for some children. Please don't get me wrong. This may not be okay for some children. So you decide the pros and cons. I remember with Swayam, there was another kid who chose a big class. Also, my nephew, he's chosen a bigger class. Okay, and he's already finished his IITs and he's graduating from IIT Chennai this month, actually, literally. So he was somebody who said, you know, I don't care, I need a big class because I don't need that bond with the teacher. I don't need all of that. What I need is a very large pool of children with whom I can compete. So every child is different. So the big class definitely gives you the advantage of a large pool, gives you the advantage of a very systematized way of working. But there are disadvantages where you are not sure if the teachers are staying. You're also sometimes not sure if the bond is there or if that attention is being paid to your child. What happens in a small class? Maybe the logistics are a little chaotic. You know, maybe they are not so corporate like, maybe they don't give you the updates and, you know, you get a last minute update on something, fine. But because they have few children and because that's only that amount of children they cater to, they often pay more attention. The bond between your child and the teacher is good, and they can help your child reach to his or her full potential. Again, I'm saying these are just two different viewpoints, and you may choose what suits you. What we chose to begin with was definitely a small class. The reason is we've done all our research with big classes and everything, and I was also almost very keen on a bigger name and a bigger class because we had some older children from that class and they had succeeded. But my son said very clearly, Mama, I'm going to get lost in that pool. This is not where I will study. And if I don't study, then I'm not going to, I'm not going to get my targets. I will not study here. So for my son, we chose a smaller class. Okay. I am not going to go into the names of classes or anything because I do not want this to be class oriented. I want this to be parent oriented. You can later privately get in touch with me and I can tell you the pros and cons and I can help you out. But on a platform like this, I am going to be very neutral. My son also, remember, this is the way we looked at it. Our son is very focused. He is very determined, but he is not one of those gifted IQs, where from day one, the teacher is going to pick up and say, ye bacha kamal kar jayega. He has topped in his 9th in JNS. He has, he's been second in his school and 5th, as I said, in 10th board. 12th, he has again got 92.83 recently with just hardly 20 days of studying. He has topped his college there too. So he is a topper in that sense, but he is slow and steady wins the race. So I know that he is not going to be picked up on day one. And if that attention doesn't go to him, then he may not be able to reach his full potential, right? He prefers a smaller group. He prefers a bond with his teachers. That is the reason why I chose a more local, organic class. And, that's how it is. Sorry. But all classes have something good to offer. Again, I'm saying. So you have to make the right collaboration between what you want and what they can offer. Okay. And this can then, if you have certain weaknesses and strengths of your child, put down the weaknesses and strengths of the classes you have visited. If you have doubts, try getting in touch with us and we can help you further in this journey. Now, I think this I already told you. This is the toughness levels of the exams. So it's not necessary. Everybody now has gone into the fad of IIT, JEE Advanced. You have to study 12 hours a day, 15 hours a day. It's not going to be possible. It's not like that. There are private entrances of various engineering colleges. There is the MHT CET, which is the Maharashtra state level engineering exam. Then there is the JEE Mains, okay, which is the All India exam for various engineering colleges. There is BITS. So there are various degrees of tough exams. So I've gone from the easiest to the toughest. The private entrances being easy, the MST CET being the next, and then the mains, the BITSAT, the all India level exams, even NEET, all India level exams are the toughest. And you will need to study if you want to do well. You can, maybe you need only about 3 hours of study, 2 to 3 hours for the easier ones. But a good 5 to 8 hours is needed for the tough ones. Okay. The toughest are a league apart. I've put them separately. Not everyone may want to do this. The KVPY, the JEE Advanced, and the Olympiads. These are the toughest. And I will not lie to you. They need 8 to 9 hours of daily study, especially in the 12th grade. So you can imagine that there is a lot that the child has to put in. And if there is so much that the child has to put in, then your focus for these 2 years with the child and the right class, all of this is very important. You understand? You can't just leave the child. Chalo, we've taken admission, we've taken the admission, we've paid the fees, and abhi Bhagwan bharose. Abhi class fodega or bachcha fodega. This is not how it works. If the child has to put in so many hours and you are expecting that result from the child, you better be aware and alert and helpful and supportive all times. Yeah. Sometimes a need is there to change the class after 11th or something, or go to an extra help. All this also happens in the journey. Okay. But that, I think you are too naive right now to get into that. Yeah. So, but the first step, remember, the first step is choosing the right class. If you have done that, then other steps may not be needed. You get me? Yeah, 8 to 9 hours of study apart. See, don't be worried. This is in 12th standard and only if you're going to the very tough exams. I don't want to scare you because it's all possible. We were also scared when we started the journey, but it's possible. And with the peer, with the peer group, the teachers being there for the children, it's possible. You get, by the end, what also happens is 8 to 9 hours is only there. There is no coaching left. It's a total of 8 to 9. And in the beginning 11th, you don't need so much also. I'm not going to go too much into the number of hours today. Okay. I want to encourage you, not discourage you. Okay. Now, this is another very, very important thing that a lot of people have asked me already in the registration as well. Which board do we choose? Let me tell you that if you're looking at these exams that I'm talking of today, yeah, the NEET, the BITSAT, the JEE, blah, 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 please, ISC is out of question. Please do not go into that. Do not torture your child. Okay. I'm telling you as a mother, I'm telling you as a mother of as an observer of so many other children whose parents have made them take it and they've suffered and they've, lost their way, gone neither this way nor that way. ISC is not compatible with any of the All India entrance examinations. ISC is a wonderful board. My own son is from ICSE. ISC would have been very easy to take. Okay. But ISC is compatible with SATs. ISC is compatible with, if you want to not do these engineering and medical exams, it's also okay and compatible with architecture. Yeah. It's compatible with BScs, definitely, and compatible with humanities, commerce, all of that. With sciences, if you don't want to take these, as I said, engineering exams, it's a very vast course. So the syllabus, so remember one thing, the syllabus for 11th and 12th is almost the same. Whether you do CBSE board, whether you do ISC board, or whether you do HSC board. These are the 3 boards I'm going to talk about today. Okay. For 11th and 12th, the syllabus is same, but for the same thing, ISC will expect you to study it from 10 books, whereas HSC has only one book and CBSE has only one book. So you imagine the amount of time you're going to waste. Then ISC will need special tuition teachers to be teaching, or you need to be attending school all the time. They are also very project oriented. So the same thing which can be just written and taught will need project work in ISC. So out of the window ISC, please. And if you want to take that, then don't think of joint entrance exams. Don't put your child through torture. So that's out. The second very good board is CBSE. Now, there are some registrants in this webinar today who are from other states. Like I think there was a couple from Gurgaon, there was one from Chennai. I would say if your child was earlier in CBSE, or if you have an option, CBSE out of Maharashtra, okay? Maharashtra I'll come to later. CBSE is a very, very good board. Why? You know, your entrance exams, the JEE, the BITSAT, the JEE mains, the JEE mains, BITSAT, the NEET, yeah, and also some of the private engineering exams, the IISER exams, also some bits of KVPY. Everything is based on CBSE, the central board. Okay, and the central board follows the textbooks called NCERT. A lot of you might have heard that name, right? So everything comes from the NCERT textbook. So CBSE on paper is an extremely good board. CBSE is a very good board for out of Maharashtra students. Aankh band karke le lijiye. You will not have to study extra. Within Maharashtra, Mumbai children, now comes the trick. See, also before that, I think CBSE board is also accepted in Canada and in some other countries, UK as well. CBSE, if those kids who want to take up NEET, there are some 8 to 10 kids here who are specifically for NEET. CBSE is a good board. Everything in your NEET exam comes from the NCERT textbooks, 90%. CBSE is a good board. Now we come to engineering and we come to HSC board. My son has not opted for CBSE, but he has opted for HSC board. And I will tell you why. Syllabus-wise, HSC board also in the last 2 years has risen up to CBSE level. Let me tell you that. So HSC has increased their standard. The books are almost the same as the NCERT textbooks. Now, the thing is, see, I've put that time bomb. In fact, it's my husband who's made this slide for me, and he's put that time bomb in the center. Can you see that? Time is ticking in 11th and 12th. And I have major children on this chat today who want to take up entrance exams for engineering. We had almost 57 or 60 registrants for JEE, mains and advanced. Time is ticking. You have only 2 years. You have to study 8 to 9 hours for your entrance exam. Why do you want to waste time studying for your board exam? And it's the same thing, okay? Now, then you will say, if it's the same thing, what is different? What is different is the entrance exams are more sums, questions, problem solving based. The board exams are more theoretical, subjective, long answers, prove this, define this. So here entrance exams are MCQ based, whereas the board exams are subject based. So even though the syllabus is same, the child will have to study. Now, so you understand. So my son had to put that 1 month extra. He had to go through with, certain in between practicals and things like that. So that takes up your time. You understand? So when your time is less, be smart and choose a board that will give you more time to excel in your entrance exams, because your entrance exams are going to take you ahead. That is why we did not go with CBSE. We went with HSC board. Okay, HSC out of the 3, ISC is out. Between CBSE and HSC, the Mumbai-based parents, even if your child is in IG, IB, ICSE, whatever, in 11th and 12th, my choice was HSC. I think that is the best choice. I also told you CBSE is good in certain ways. I gave you the academic advantages of CBSE. Practically, I would prefer HSC. Then there is another thing that a lot of parents ask me, and that is integrated. Now, you know, integrated, the whole logic earlier was very different. Okay. Integrated up in the north or in schools where CBSE is the main board, what they did is they would teach the board exam work, and because the joint entrance exams are anyways from central board, they would add up some hours and they would make it like a integrated. In Bombay, integrated is different. In Bombay, integrated means that you go to a coaching class, okay, and then you tie up with not you, sorry, the coaching class has tied up, either the coaching class, if it's a big name, it has its own little college, or the coaching class has tied up with informally, yeah, this is informal, okay, informally with certain colleges, yeah, where it becomes easy for the child in terms of practicals, in terms of attendance, yeah, in terms of all those internal exams and giving the prelims and the unit tests and terminals and all that. So basically these colleges with whom the coaching classes have tie-ups, it's a little easier for the children because the colleges take care of the children or help them out, or they don't stress the children so much. Okay. So we did not take an integrated college. We took a proper regular HSC college. My son has a very good percentage, as I'm saying, 92.83. He has topped his college. His college was excellent in every way, very helpful. But if you ask me, I would say go for an integrated college, because I'll tell you the problems we went through. Okay. The one problem we went through was that, see, by the end, when the children were studying, you know, now the board exams are over, but that February time, when, or December, right? From December to February time, when the mains were supposed to be in April, the children had to study for entrance exams. Of course, then the entrance exams got postponed. That's a different story. But the earlier scenario was children have to study for April entrance exams, and the children also have to study for the March board exams. Are you with me? Now, what happens is, I chose a college where the child has to go regularly. Of course, it was COVID time, so everything was online. But you had to attend college online. So you had to give the project, submit the journals. Now, what I saw was, yes, he did all of that, and that's what I wanted him to do. But I saw that the other children who had chosen for an integrated one, they had a leeway. So it was unfair that the children who were going through regular college, yeah, had to spend time on their project work and, you know, attendance and all of this. Whereas though it is good on theory, practically I saw that the other children were getting more time to study for the entrance exam, you know. So I'm just giving you this, and this doesn't strike you initially. Initially, I was very happy with the college. And of course, he's done well because he's a hardworking child. I mean, he stopped his college. And I'm telling you, the college was very helpful in every way. But it was a regular college. So you have to follow the rules of the regular college. And so as a parent, you then think that the child has lost that time which the other children got as an advantage. And nobody in the competitive exam is going to ask you which college you did and where did you lose your time. You understand? So from that point of view, practically, you can choose an HSC regular college if you still want to go for it. But I would say an integrated is really a good choice. Okay. Okay, now one more thing, very important. Some parent has asked me this question. I wasn't going to take it, but now I'll go to the next slide, which probably is just that. Go next. Has your child missed anything? Are there any important questions we can answer? Has your child missed anything? If he has not done those first 3 courses, you know, from 8th grade, from 7th grade, yeah, Has he missed anything if he has not done the foundation course? No, I don't think so. I personally feel that this whole idea of foundation course and bridge course and all of this is mainly so that, you know, the children, poor thing, they get into that rut of studying from a very early age. They get into that, you know, thing that we have to do this, this, and this only, as well as the classes are confirmed that ye bacha 5 saal aur kidhar nahi jayega. My son has done a foundation course in 10th grade. Of course, he didn't do with a big class. He did it with private teachers. He enjoyed the foundation course very well. He loved it. But when he came to the 11th grade, and by middle of 11th grade, he told me, Mama, you know what? That foundation course was absolutely unnecessary. I loved it. The teachers made it very interesting. The teachers were fascinating. And of course, the teachers are still good. But he said, it's not that it added any value. Yeah. So even if I wouldn't have done that, I would have been in the same space. The classes will tell you, or there are other parents whose children, they'll tell you, oh, they missed it if they didn't do it. No. In my own family, and I have a family of IITians, okay? In my own family, there are kids, I can give you examples, who did not do any foundation course, simply started after 10th, but were very sure after 10th. Same with Swayam. He has not started in 8th or 9th. Yes, in 10th, he did foundation. The day his exam, he's from the COVID batch where the last 2 exams got cancelled. The day his exam got cancelled, we were sure which class we wanted to join. We started our 11th standard studies. He did not take a break and immediately went into studying for 11th and 12th. The foundation course is not important, believe me. Even if you've done a foundation course with one class, you can easily, if you don't like the class, switch for 11th and 12th to another class. Remember that. Don't stick to the class only because you did the foundation with that class. No, please don't do that. Foundation course is only a way to kind of allure us. Okay. I will definitely say that for the IB and IG students, there are a couple of IB, IG students also. For them, foundation course adds value. Because from IB, IG, if you want to shift to HSC, you understand? Then the foundation courses or the bridge courses help because they get the child adjusted to the Indian rut or this our style of questioning. So I will definitely say that for those kids, the bridge course or foundation course is good. But if you haven't done a foundation course, you have not missed the bus. I know children who have not done it and got ranks like 249, 400, 800, 1000. Okay. I know of children who have done foundation course with a very well-known class from 8th grade and then eventually gone into DJ Sangvi. Okay. Which they would have gone into DJ Sangvi anyways at the end of 12th grade. And that boy told me the same thing. He said, Auntie, please don't get Swayams to do any foundation course. I wasted my 8th, 9th and 10th. I wasted my Sundays. And I realized what happens is the children are not mature enough to take the sums of that 11th, 12th grade in 8th standard. Okay. Except, of course, if the children are brilliant and gifted, that is a different thing. And those gifted and brilliant children will do anyways very well. So this was about foundation course. Please keep it in mind. Yeah. Don't connect foundation to 11th and 12th if you've done it. If you have not done it, don't feel you've missed the boat. You haven't missed anything. But be sure and in 10th, finish your research so that the moment your child finishes 10th, you know where to go. Okay. So this was mainly for today. I wanted to give you this brief outline about everything. Apart, I just want to say a couple of things before I end. Private coaching, yes. We'll talk about this. Probably what I'll do is some children do need a private coaching. Yeah, private coaching is needed. Where whether my son needed it or not, or what of all this, I think that we can do it more on a private basis. Yeah, because each child is different. Each child is different. And sometimes remember one thing, if your child is good and hardworking, you don't need a private teacher. Why? Because your classes will pay attention to him as a private teacher. Yeah. It depends on how good your son or your daughter is. Yeah. If they are good, then the teacher will catch them and the teacher will pay attention like a private teacher. Okay. Sarita, you can also connect with me privately. I think you have a lot of other different questions as well. Remember one thing, as a parent, don't please just pay the money. No. That's not the thing. This is, see this trio that I'm showing you, child, parent, and teacher. You cannot just pay the teacher and then give it up and then blame the teacher or the child. You are an important link. So constantly in those, first choose a right class. Second, stay connected with your child's teachers for those 2 years. Be a mentor to your child. Yeah, either you be a mentor to your child or find a mentor. Yeah, somebody ask the classes, can you give me an extra mentor? Or can one of the teachers be a mentor? What is a mentor? This is a very tough 2 years. So a mentor is somebody who will keep being with the child, supporting the child, make his timetables, plan his revision, plan his day, help him come up or come out of, depressed moments when he feels I want to give up. These things happen. They've happened to our child also. Not that he ever wanted to give up, but he goes through times when he's exhausted and he says, how do I come out of this? My husband and I have been his mentors. We've always been through him in the journey. We've always stayed with him. The moment we feel we need help from the teachers, we go to the teachers. So you can actually make the teacher a private one. What I mean is connect with the teacher. And if you connect with the teacher, he will help you come out of whatever the situation is. There will be many more questions that I think what I'm going to do is read through the questions and probably do a next webinar based on those questions, because some of you have asked very advanced questions, which means you've done a lot of your research. So I am going to, if you go next. Yeah, I think we can keep this for later. I am going to do more webinars on various different topics, every few months. My husband and I, we've planned to do this to help all different parents, how to make revision plans, how to keep the focus all the time. For those 10th graders, how to study in 10th grade in a good way so that you enjoy, but you also make the most of your potential and your free time, success goals, choosing the right class. I'm going to do a lot of different ones. So we'll look through all your questions and probably tailor make the next one based on what your questions are. Okay? Just one thing before I end for today. There is a big secret in the success of 11th and 12th, which a lot of parents don't understand. There are some parents with me, some children with Swayams, who gave up in this journey or tried something else and then thought we should have started something else from the beginning. Yeah. I think what is very important is the secret is not the teacher or the class alone, but the trio of you, the child and the teacher. And very importantly, parents, look at these steps I have written. This is the secret to the success of your child. Help keep the environment happy and motivated. These 2 years are not easy. We've been through it. Yeah. And we've fared very well, of course, in the 12th HSC, and there are more results to come. We've been through the bumpy road. So I'm telling you, it's very important to keep the environment happy and motivated for your child. It's very important that you learn the discipline and you are as disciplined as your child is. Don't expect that just from the child. Understand your child. Don't police him. Don't tell him always, ye kiya ki nahi, khaya ki nahi, baita ki nahi, soya ki nahi, TV band karo, Insta pe mat jao. Stop policing and try to understand what is going wrong. Listen to them if you want them to listen to you. Very important. Yeah. And also find pleasure time together in these 2 years. They have a lot to do. They have too many hours to put in. But what my husband and I do is we find time, we plan. Okay, if this day is getting a little free, what can we do to entertain him? Can we call his friends over? Can we surprise him? Can we do something? So you have to put in that energy to keep the momentum going. Yeah, don't just expect either from the teachers or from the child. Do your bit as well and start from today, because you have 1 year of rehearsal. Yeah, by 1 year of rehearsal, you'll be such a pro at it. 11th and 12th is going to go like this. So that's the email ID. I think we'll also put it up on the chat. Contact Joshi at Gmail. Send me all your questions. And as I said, our next webinar will be on all the doubts that you have put up. I'll also see if some of Swayamji's mentors can come in and tell us their viewpoints. Yeah, so the next webinars will be about all of that. Keep in touch with us and we'll update you on different social media, yeah, on my Facebook account or Insta. Yeah, we'll keep connecting and we'll keep sending you the information. Yes, we will be sharing all future webinars. See, I have your email IDs, yeah, and also some phone numbers. So we will send you on WhatsApp all the information. And we also put it on all our Facebook pages and everything. That's one of my page, which is, I think, my Fitness World page. Yeah. So we post it all here. So maybe subscribe to this page and then you'll get all the information. Also, you may have private questions, which I cannot answer to the entire group. They are more about your child's weakness or strength. What motivates your child, or how can we motivate you better? Yeah. So then you will have to connect privately with us. Yeah. I think, yeah, that's about it. Let's keep this short. I've already gone a bit over time. This will be on YouTube. I'm going to, the whole recording will be on YouTube. So you'll get the link. You can share it with other parents as well. And yeah, that's about it. Wish you all the best and wish all the best to all your boys and girls. Thank you so much. Yeah, I will be ending the meeting now.